Take a look at STARSEED Asinia Trigger, a Korean squad-based action combat squad waifu female collector game. Now, a brief introduction. You live in a world that was created by AI, and you're the architect. It's the one human that's supposed to help save everyone from the Red Shift, and that's the enemy that's in this world. You're being helped by the Proxians. Those are the female characters that are in this game, and the main city is Asinia. Now, I had trouble understanding if this was a virtual world that you're supposed to be in or a physical world. They just mentioned that it's the ideal world that their AI created and you're in it somehow. Now, the game didn't link directly to Google, but it did link directly to Google Play out of the gate. So make sure if you want to link to Google or the Hive account that you do so in the account settings. You have to do it manually. I got about halfway through chapter 5, and that's when I started to get stuck, unfortunately. I didn't have enough XP to like level up my heroes like any further, and now I'm kind of like at the end of chapter 5, so all this is going to be from the perspective of being on chapter 5. Now, you start unlocking a lot of things once you get through chapter 3, and then it just keeps cascading from there. Alright, so let's get into the combat. Here, this is your pre-deployment screen, and this is where you can see your team strength versus your enemy's team strength. You have 9 positions to place your heroes in, and those are set in you have a 5 maximum of heroes that you can do, and then it's set into 3 different rows, and those 3 different rows do correspond to a strategy in the tactics menu that's actually down here. You'll see that you actually have a formation option, and those different formations are going to affect those particular rows that they show you. You have S-Trigger. S-Trigger is kind of like an extra little ability that applies to the whole fight as opposed to just like the ultimate where you have like an ultimate for just like one hero. Let's go into battle here. Now, this game does use typical color-coded strength and weakness, such as like green beating blue, blue beating red, purple and yellow. I'm going to turn off the ultimate skill animation just for a second. In the bottom left here, we have our battle speed. You can go up to ×3 speed, and I think that unlocks almost right away. Auto battle right now is turned on, but you can turn that off. You also have 3 different camera angles. I'll cycle through those so you can see what they look like. So when you turn off the full ultimate animation, you kind of get like just like a mini animation, and it makes it like go a lot smoother overall. You can also save your layout. That's in the preset menu, and that's over at the pre-deployment screen. I'll go back into another battle so we can take a look at that. Alright, so back on the pre-deployment screen again, you can see your usual core matchup, your color-coded analysis, again, tactics. You have full access to your settings. Now, in your settings, there's almost one thing I forgot about here with the ultimates. So you have 2 different options. You have Awake and Blossom, and depending on which one you choose is going to affect, of course, the ultimate of what it is. Now, if you click not on their little profile picture, but on the actual little ultimate, it'll tell you what it is. So like here on Mobile Strike, Awake deals 285% damage to enemies within the area affected, consumes 1 stack of bullets, and yada yada blah blah blah. Now, if you click on the Blossom, it's going to tell you that you need to equip a plugin to activate it. Plugins are like something else that you can summon and add to your particular hero, and so you're going to need those in order to activate those the Blossom effect. Alright, let's go into a battle. Now, the combat in this moves like pretty fast, especially when you have the speed set up all the way to 3, which I'm going to do right now. On the left hand side, you're going to see all of these different words. That's basically just the characters doing the name of whatever their move is. You know, it's very like anime-ish. On the right hand side, you have like your stats, so it shows the damage that you're doing by default, but you can click it. It shows damage taken, healing that's done, and you can just like close it too if you want. If you want to see the full screen. Below each of your heroes' picture, you can see the little effects and stuff that are going on, whether you're dishing something out or taking damage by some type of effect. You can also turn on and off the S-Trigger option if you want to, separately from the auto battle of the rest of your moves. Yeah, I totally lost. Daily collections, you get a decent amount of stuff in true gacha fashion. It's not the highest amount of rewards, but it's not the worst either. Over on the left hand side, you've got like your gift section, or I call it the gift section, but there's a couple of little things that you can do, like the seaside run. You can do that like every single day. You've got this things, the Bella Betta's gift, that gives you quite a bit of stuff. You've got the mission list next to that. Claim all your mission stuff every single day. This is pretty much the same type of stuff that you get in almost any live service game. You've got your your little briefcase here. And this is just going to tell you about the resources that you have that you might need to use. But it does put like a little icon every time you have something that's new. It's kind of annoying, but that's just how it is. Over here, the Star Pass. So you've got your free one, I believe, and then you have your non-free one. So I'm just doing the free one right now. Collect all your junk. Starseed is, you know, it's like Instagram, but it's just built into the game. Oh my gosh. All right, so what you can do is it has this like Instagram style interface here, and it has like all your different little heroes, and every time you have a new hero, I believe they'll show up in here, and you can have like a little quick chat with them, and every time you do that, I think you might get like a little gift afterwards. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's just get out of that. It's kind of interesting. You can't like leave comments or anything like that. There's like these default little comments that the other heroes will leave for the other heroes, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess. Down at the bottom, your Asinia city is your city. Oh, I didn't mean to go there. Right, so this is the stuff that unlocks as you go along. I just haven't unlocked the plant yet, but you've got your things that you can collect every single day. At the bottom, there's a receive all. You want to click that. There's a lab, which is something that unlocks, I think, somewhere in chapter 5. This is kind of neat. So for each color of hero, there is 3 different sections, and then you can upgrade these various like skill sets for per color. Over on the shop, I don't think there's really too many free things that you can collect, but if you don't spend your little Starbit points, you'll collect quite a bit of those even by the time you get to a couple of chapters in. And so you'll have a lot, and you can go in here and there's like you know, like specials and stuff of things that you can get. That's just one time per day, but it's very useful, especially for things like your experience points, because you really need a lot of experience points in this game. It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like Mobile Legends Adventure, where it takes a god-awful amount of experience points to level up your people in a short amount of time. Now, campaign is kind of like your side missions and like your specific missions. This is what I guess it'd be called like your side stuff in other games, but they call it campaign here. That's why it's always confusing. The main stuff is called operation, but in here it's called campaign for the side stuff. So this is where you also have your arena. So you got your multiplayer, supply search, where you have like your very specific some of the very specific resources like the skill cores, and these guys plug in boost chips. I haven't unlocked everything yet, but you can also start getting your level SSR1 gear here as well. Core analysis, so these are the main 3 colors, red, green, and blue. And then data tower here, this is where it's your tower level stuff. So, you know, you go through one floor, you beat it, and you move on to the next floor, and then every so many, right, you get like an extra reward. That's pretty much it. Managing your heroes, we won't spend a lot of time on that, but if you go in, you're going to go to upgrade Proxian over in the bottom right, but above that you're going to see the type of hero that they are. Sometimes it'll tell you what row they are useful in and what kind of hero that they are. So such as your main character here, she specializes in attacking enemies over a large area. Sometimes, you know, they're a tank, sometimes they're a healer. They call them defenders here, that's your tank. Sometimes they're rangers, so there's an example there. But if you do upgrade Proxian, you're going to have your usual stuff. So you got your info here, you've got your skill levels, your gear. You can unequip all, auto equip, switch them out with gear from somebody else. Optimization, you have to get a grade UR1 in order to start using that. I don't have that yet. Profile is kind of just like the fun stuff, just gives you like a little bit of information about who they are. Level up, real simple. You can level up either a couple levels at a time or the maximum level. Right now I can't level them super high, so the max right now on her would be like 63, and that's just because I would burn through all my experience points. That's why collecting that is so important in this particular game. Now if we go back here and we go to manage Proxians, this is a little bit different here. You get the level sync pretty early on, which is really cool, and this is like any other game where you have an X amount of heroes and then you have to level them up to a certain level, and whoever is the lowest level in that circle of heroes, like with this one, and then that's going to be the set level for everybody else. So in a lot of games you get that quite a bit later. In this one they give it to you like super early. Dismiss Proxian, This if you have an R grade, so it's like all your cannon fodder proxians that you get when you're doing recruitments. You can basically dismiss them, turn them into trash, and then you get these Terra coins. You can use that in the Terra shop. You can also do natural SR proxians, but there's a caveat to that. You only get that after clearing stage 24-60, which is way up there. Proxy and Link. Proxy and Link is you need to be able to get those heroes that they have listed there, or that they show you, and once you do that, then you'll get that special effect, and then you'll get some of those star bit points as well. So like here, if you obtain them all, you get a defense plus 40, which I have that already, but I don't have any of these other ones. So it's just as you recruit, you get them, and then when you do those specific tasks, like reach UR grade for all proxians in this group, then I would get HP plus 5%. So just an extra little thing that you can do. So if I were to wrap this up, I would say they started off the storyline of the game pretty strong, and for some reason though, the story disappears from the main campaign. Like you unlock parts of the story as you progress, but they stop showing you the story in the main game. And I guess that's a double-edged sword, because for the people that want uninterrupted gameplay, it's great because you just keep fighting and fighting from one stage to the next. But if you want to feel connected to the characters in the background, it comes off as feeling a little bit disconnected. And they do have a link right on the home screen that takes you to what they call the main story, but it doesn't feel connected to the same way as like the prologue is and everything that happens after that. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll understand once you play the game. Now, in my opinion, a more balanced approach would be if maybe they gave you some storyline and dialogue at the beginning, middle, and the end of a chapter at least. Now the combat though, I found to be like pretty entertaining. It's real flashy, and when you're using ×3 speed, it moves extremely fast. You can like power through your battles really quick. I like the multiple camera view options, and you can do a close-up in camera in the settings if you want to feel like more engaged in the combat. I didn't really show that here, but that's an option. And they do have an auto battle feature, and I think I might have mentioned this, but in several spots where you can use the auto battle, like even the main operation and the tower levels and stuff like that, it does break when you unlock something new because the system can't auto acknowledge that prompt. So I mean, at least that's how it is at the time of this video. Maybe they'll change it in an upcoming update. So it's useful, but only for like a little while. Now overall, I think they give you an okay amount of items on like your daily and weekly rewards. It's not the greatest, and you kind of get stuck at some points like I'm having right now because you don't have enough materials to upgrade your heroes. You really need that character experience a lot because they make it so expensive to upgrade your heroes pretty early on too. But you know, it's not the first game to like make that process kind of hard, so I guess it's just what it is. And the waifu artwork, it's really good. It's obviously suggestive. It's rated T for teens, so it only takes a certain level, but you know what they're trying to do. Like this kind of thing gets the attention they want from the player. So again, it's just how it is. It's a game that I probably wouldn't have in my daily rotation, but I wouldn't mind playing it every few days. But that's different for everyone because I like having a more integrated story. And at the end of the day, it's a waifu gacha game. I mean, it hasn't been out that long, so they haven't had a chance to run too many special events yet, but there's one going on right now. And I'm sure there's going to be other collabs and stuff, like anything else going on to keep it interesting. But there's a lot to appreciate here still, I think. It's just not, it's not the most awesome, but it's not the worst either. This has been Blue Screen of Tech, and I'll see you in the next game.